right now, and let me just say this too before we go into the Rookie of the Year conversation. I respect everybody who's been playing great this year in the WNBA. I respect all y'all immensely. Um, we have the EMAX stats report, for y'all to go back and look at, me giving players their flowers and their just due. But the MVP race is not close. It goes to A'ja Wilson, hands down. That's of no discussion. I need to go back and see if there's ever been a unanimous MVP in the WNBA, and if it hasn't prior to, I think this would and should be the year that we see our first WNBA unanimous MVP. If it hasn't already happened, I would have to go double check to see if it has happened before in the past. But if it hasn't, it should be this year where it's the first time we see that. And that is no slight to how great other players around the league been playing. What A'ja Wilson has been doing, like nobody's in her stratosphere with the way she's been balling and competing. So let's just get that out the way in terms of MVP of the WNBA. If you had MVP of the first half of the season, and most likely should get it as the season unfolds, barring injury and other things like that, as long as she continues to play the way she's been playing. That out the way. I don't know if it's. I believe WNBA has a most improved player of the year. I would definitely. I want to get at the Kennedy Carter from the Chicago Sky. Been playing lights out. A lot of people tried to disrespect her game and talk about her crazy when she got into it with Caitlin Clark, saying, hey, like, why are you in the league? Like, we wouldn't have known about you if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. You just out there to hack. And since she's been put in the starting lineup for the Chicago Sky, shout out to Teresa Weatherspoon, Teaspoon. Shout out to her. I would. Coach of the Year, I may give it to Teaspoon. I may give Coach of the Year to Teaspoon. However, I can't think of her name right now, but head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, she deserves some consideration too for Coach of the Year. But yeah. All right, Rookie of the Year. Shout out to all you rookies who've been playing great. Rakia Jackson, salute to you. Unfortunate, Cameron Brink, she got hurt. You know, Aaliyah Edwards, you've been doing your thing in Washington. Other rookies, haven't really got, great minutes, but rookies have definitely shown that they belong in the league and they'll be in the league for, quite some time. But shout out to you, rookies. But let's just keep it real and be honest about the situation, okay? The rookie of the year is between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. That's what it is, okay? Sedacious, why? Well, who is your rookie of the year this first half of the season and why?
I still think it's a toss-up. I still think it's a toss-up. I haven't seen anything definitively and consistent enough from both candidates to say that one is running away more than the other. I would like to answer with my biasness, but I can't. I just can't. I feel like there is a little bit of argument still to be made. And since I feel that way, I have to say it's still kind of a toss-up. That's it. I digress.
Where does your bias lie? For the people who don't know, where does your bias lie?
Come on, man. I don't know her middle name, but Caitlin, insert here, Clark.
Okay. So we talked about earlier in the show who has the more cult like following or like, who is, has the bigger fan base. And the tough thing about these conversations is, well, what this is what I've seen. What I've seen is, in order to make cases for Caitlyn, people tear Angel down. Vice versa, to make a case for Angel, people tear Caitlyn down. Um, for me, if I had to choose today, who I would choose to be my MVP? Excuse me, my rookie of the year. Sorry, ladies, not Candace Parker, but I would choose Caitlin Clark. Here's why. I believe Caitlin Clark has exceeded the expectations that was placed upon her as she's came into the league as the #1 overall draft pick. Um, Caitlin Clark is leading the league in assists, and we could tell the full story on that. She's also leads the league in turnovers. That unfortunately, one comes with the territory of her being a primary ball handler for her team. That also comes with the unfortunate see of her not having full chemistry with her teammates and them fumbling passes. Because we can't make a highlight reel for Caitlin Clark putting it between the numbers and her teammates tricking off her passes, and that playing a part in her turnovers, right? But apart from that, um, Kaylin's averaging 16. Kaylin averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. And it's arguable, it's debatable. I want to say the Indiana Fever were like the very first team to reach like 10 or 11 games this season. They put Caitlin Clark through a gauntlet fire to start off the WNBA season. Obviously, to sell tickets, obviously to have her on ESPN, ABC, numerous amounts of time. She's had to go against the top teams to start off the season, start off the first half of the season. We talking the Liberty, Connecticut, the Aces, Seattle. Like she's had to go through like the top teams as a rookie. She's had to go through this gauntlet fire, and she's come out on top of it, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and nearly 8 assists, exceeding expectations. Um, and also too, she has her team in the playoffs right now. Originally with this conversation about who's going to win the Rookie of the Year, I felt like because Angel Reese was, coming on strong with her streak of double doubles, I felt like, all right, this MVP this Rookie of the Year is likely going to go to who gets their team in the playoffs, because getting your team in the playoffs would lend itself to, hey, your impact is affecting winning. Your numbers reflect winning because you got your team into the playoffs. Where it stands today, you have both. If the playoffs were to start today, you have both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have their teams in the playoffs, right? So it's just like, well, how are you going to split the hairs if both players got their teams in the playoffs? The Indiana Fever or a 7 seed compared to a team who didn't make the playoffs last year. The Chicago Sky, they're an 8 seed. So if you had to pick today, Caitlin Clark has her team at a higher seed than the Chicago Sky. Then Angel Reese has her team at 8. Obviously Caitlin Clark's a point guard and Angel Reese is a center. But if you want to take the head-to-head matchup, the Fever have beaten the Chicago Sky 2 out of 3 times this season. And then also too, Caitlin Clark, first rookie in WNBA history to have a triple double. People, right, tell the full story. People are gonna combat her triple double and say, hey, but she lost. What does her triple double matter? Because she lost. Well, hey, like, um, just so you know, Angel Reese is not triple double. Angel Reese's double double streak of 15 straight double doubles. That's coming to losing effort. Out of those 15 straight double doubles, Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky are 6-9. So the double doubles are great. It does speak to Angel Reese's ability to, be effective down there in the paint, rebound at a high level. But it doesn't. It hasn't. It has translated to winning in terms of them being in the AC. But throughout the stretch of that streak, it's not like it was like a winning record that came out of that streak, right? Um. So I just say that to combat anybody that would try to, denounce what Caitlyn did. Even if you try to denounce what Angel Reese did. I mean, if you want to say her triple doubles, I mean her double doubles came at a losing effort. You could say, hey, well, Caitlyn Clark, her triple double was in a losing effort. But again, I don't want to get into trying to talk down on either one to build the other person up. All of that considered, that would be my case as to why I would give it to Caitlin Clark. I believe she's had to go through tougher competition from the very beginning. She's been put under the fire and the pressure, triple team, double team from full court. Um, uh, and had a tougher time having to, be defended and guarded compared to Angel Reese. And despite how difficult we've seen it to be, how physical we've seen it to be on Caitlin Clark, she's exceeded expectations. She hasn't folded in any way, shape, or form. And one could argue if it wasn't for this streak, a lot of people wouldn't try to give credence to um, what Angel Reese has done. Me personally, I feel like Caitlin Clark has been consistent throughout this from the start. All things considered, she's been consistent from the very start up until now. Granted, she may not have a hot streak, but she's been consistent nonetheless. She has been absolutely 1010% consistent from the very start of this season up until now. Having her team in a higher rank playoff seeding, the whole nine, and showing to have gotten better over time is why I would give her the rookie of the year. But I don't say that in any slight to say it's not even close. I don't say that in any slight to be like Angel Reese isn't even like should not be in the conversation. What Angel Reese has been great. I wonder if she will go on another tear of a streak uh, this upcoming in the second half of the season. As we speaking right now, Chicago Sky up over the Aces 25-12 after the first quarter, but that is definitely fool's gold because I've seen the Aces all season long coast in the first quarter, then put their foot on the gas in the third quarter, something like the Golden State Warriors used to do. But yeah, man, Angel Reese leading the league in rebounding on top of, the streak that she had with 15 straight double doubles. That's nothing to undermine. She also has played a pivotal role in that team alongside Kennedy Carter and the Chicago Sky being in a playoff spot right now with the eighth seed. But it's not higher ranked than, it's not higher ranked than where Kaylin and the Fever are. And another thing too is Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark has the ability to kill you in a multitude of ways. Caitlin Clark's shot can be falling and she still kill you with her playmaking. That's not talked about enough. It's not as sexy, I get it, but her playmaking ability is what I believe to make her truly an assassin. Truly makes her to be a truly talented all-around player is her playmaking ability. And so she's a constant generator of points, whether that's her shot, her getting to the basket, or whether that's her creating for others. So yeah, yeah. But again, salute to Angel Reese, and what she's done is definitely close. She's definitely within worthy consideration. Um, and she could go on another run, could go on another tear. Definitely a neck and neck, a respectable neck and neck conversation and debate. But I give Caitlin Clark the photo finish coming across the line to win that Rookie of the Year award if you had to choose today.